answers to the C6.1 section of the higher booklet. Foundation questions, which are the same as the first questions in the higher booklet, have already been covered in a separate video. We'll only go through the higher questions on this video. So 9a, write a word equation to show how electricity breaks down potassium iodide. Potassium iodide breaks down into potassium and iodine. The simple equation, which is balanced here, 2Ki, which will be a liquid because it's molten, produces 2 potassium solid and iodine solid. Now, the physical states will depend entirely on the temperature that these processes are done at. So these may well be liquids or even gases. Okay, question 10 has already been answered on the foundation video, so we'll move on to 11. Half equations for the following reactions. Molten potassium iodide. So potassium is a metal, so it's in group 1, so it's got a single positive charge. It will be a liquid because it's molten. It gains an electron to produce potassium. Iodine ions, which are also liquid because they're molten, produce the diatomic molecule iodine, and it loses 2 electrons. So the metals gain electrons, the non-metals lose electrons. So we'll come to these a bit later, but remembering oil rig, oxidation is loss of electrons and reduction is gain of electrons. You'll be asked about this. If you're gaining electrons, it's reduction. If you're losing electrons, it's oxidation. Lead, being a metal, it doesn't matter too much if it's a single plus or a 2 plus charge here. You wouldn't necessarily know. So either would be acceptable. Liquid, because it's molten, gains an electron, produces lead. Bromine, 2 ions are needed to produce the diatomic molecule Br2 and loses 2 electrons. Zinc 2 plus, gains 2 electrons. 2 chlorine ions lose their electrons to form chlorine gas. Sodium gains an electron. Oxygen has a 2 minus charge, remember it's in group 6, so it forms 2 minus ions. You need 2 of those to produce the O2 molecule, and 4 electrons are lost because each of those 2 O2 minus ions loses 2 electrons. Complete and balance the following half equations. Aluminium 3 plus gains 3 electrons to form aluminium. 2 O2 minus forms O2 gas and loses 4 electrons. Magnesium 2 plus gains 2 electrons to form magnesium. Determine whether these are oxidation or reduction. Just move that over a bit. Remember oil rig, oxidation is loss of electrons, reduction is gain. So the first one here, aluminium gains 3 electrons. If it's gaining, it's reduction. Oxygen loses 4 electrons, so it's oxidation. Okay. 13. Calcium is produced by electrolysis of molten calcium chloride. Why must the calcium chloride be molten to allow the ions to move freely? If they can't move towards the electrodes, so no current will flow. Here we're describing what happens at the negative electrode. Include the half equation. So the negative electrode is the cathode, and that's going to attract the positive ions. So calcium 2 plus are attracted to the cathode. When they touch the cathode, they gain 2 electrons to form calcium solid, and there's your half equation. Okay. Last part. complete the half equation for the reaction at the positive electrode. Well, the positive electrode will attract the negative ions because opposites attract. You need 2 of them to form Cl2 and 2 electrons are lost. It's oxidation because 2 electrons are lost. Describe how you would test the chlorine that's produced. Well, it's got a very distinctive odour. However, chemically, if you want to test it, use blue litmus paper. Chlorine will turn it white.